Well, since that music was so quiet, anyways, it's a great time for me to come in and get ready for the next race. But before we get right into it, I do want to talk about something which is on the line for our final four. Uh, the ever wonderful Scala Kitty, who is the one who has made all of these beautiful layouts and who designed the great majority of these sprites, has also offered up some prizes for our top four. So, all of our top four will get one of these shirts custom to their team. But the first place winner of this tournament will actually get a custom Free Enterprise jersey along with a custom Zeromus sprite of their very own. Whether they get to choose what that is or whether she designs it of them, I think that's between the winner and Scala. But it should be excellent. So, with that, gaze upon the beauty, which is those shirts. Let me tell you, I want that jersey myself. It looks pretty fabulous. So we are going to start getting this race going. So we're going to transition over, and I'm going to head this over to our lovely commentary team for today, puwexil and Khobahi.
Good afternoon, evening, or morning, everyone.
Yeah, and welcome to the finals of the Highway to the Zemus-Zone. We have the four winners of the last race, elmagus, riversmccown, Scratchdragon, and Nightdew here for you. It looks like we have a Sid start.
So we have a bearded engineer hanging out in that new game box, waiting to meet his new best friend in a few minutes.
Definitely. And, definitely a stout that these runners won't mind. Sid is a very good early game character, so better than
Starts with pretty good HP and I think a better starter weapon than most of the other fighter type characters.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot better than, Edward and Tella.
Just a little.
And it looks like we are on the way here.
Off. And there's Tella.
Well, I mean, he can't escape the ball, so you get some.
Yeah.
We do get the pan right away from Dark Knight Cecil and Baron Castle.
Yeah, not the greatest starter item because you can't do anything with it until you get into the Underworld, but no, they'll have it when they get there.
And for those who are not aware, I do just want to let you know this was a pre-generated seed made by Boardface and Scala Kitty. So I don't know how, I literally know no details other than that, other than the fact there is a specific Zeromus sprite.
Ooh.
Very nice. And we see a general start from a couple of these racers heading into Baron right away to grab some loot, check out the character in the inn, who is Rydia.
Yeah, we have Rubicante in the Baron Guard spot.
Yeah, we know that's Rubicante because if it was the four fiends, there would be two of them there.
Yeah.
Rivers we see going straight for Dempsey and Castle instead.
2 change rods in Rose's house. Ooh, nice poison axe pickup for Sid there from Rivers.
Definitely a very nice early item, probably his second best melee weapon.
Yeah, only outdone by the rune axe.
See Rivers heading immediately into that Antlion cave. I guess with Sid, he figures, he can take out whatever boss has 1,000 HP there.
Yeah, I always find it interesting to see when runners opt to go to where they opt to go to first after doing their initial looting between the Antlion Cave and Mount Hobbs.
Yeah, I think with having Tella already and Sid with a decent weapon, they can get in here, do all the loot, take out the boss, and use the exit from Tella right away. It's definitely a very easy strategy to kind of go with and doesn't waste much time.
Yeah. And there are more chests here too than in Mount Hobbs, even though Mount Hobbs does give you a third character.
It's like the treasures in the bottom of the Troya Castle had a rune armlet, which is probably the best thing they found there. See elmagus switching to represent his team Troya and heading out up odds to see if he finds another character.
And we have duplicate Tella, so that'd be a no on the third character.
No, we have a lunar boss. We'll see if we're actually going to fight it or just seeing who it is. It is Wyvern, so that's a quick reset.
Yeah, that's a pretty big sigh of relief for Magus, and then later the other runners that find that too, because then they know they're not going to have to fight Wyvern later, and I mean they don't really have to fight it at all, given that the character there is duplicate Tellus. There's no real reward.
No, it's definitely a good place to see it when you know you don't have to go back and you can just leave it alone and not run into it later. We have the evil wall down in the Antlion cave, but Sid with that poison axe is going to make very quick work of him.
Yeah, because the Antlion boss spot only has 1,000 HP, so yeah, like 2 hits and it was down. Hook! Ooh! I can see where this custom seed is starting to play in now.
I'm just wondering how customized it is, if it's just a Zeromus, right? Or did he hide Mist Dragon somewhere?
Yep.
And we see Nightdew just noping out without even looking at the boss with the duplicate Tella. He's just not interested at all.
Yeah, if it were me, when you see that moon boss sprite, I'd at least want to know what it is before resetting.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if you save outside, it takes probably just as much time to run out as he did to check the boss. We see River's also immediately resetting. It's like elmagus and Nightdew are heading down to the Antlion cave, gonna fight their evil wall and get the poison axe. River's going to check out the shops in Kaipo, and potentially to see if there's a character hiding in the bed. Oh, we do see Fusoya. This is a very...
Yeah, if any of them finds the sand ruby, then they'll be able to get a free upgrade for Tella, basically.
Yeah, although this is turning out to be quite a mage-heavy seed at the moment with Sid and 3 mages that we've seen. elmagus picking up his hook here.
Yeah, I do have kind of an easy time forgetting that as weak as pre-Ordeals Tella's spell list is, one of those spells is Exit.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the handy things to have early in a free enterprise seed, castable exit. It's a shame that it's in a C3 seed, so you know you can't get rid of them, but you know these runners have all had to do this already once at least today, so.
Yep. Like the second match of the finals was our dream team of Edward and Tella.
See elmagus checking out shops and selling off his inventory. Finds lives.
We've got lives now for Magus. It's always easy to take having a big stack of curative items for granted until you play a seed where you either can't find them at all or not until very late.
Definitely. And we see River's kind of heading into the Abalon Cave with that hook. Gonna look at that character, I assume, at least. I doubt he's gonna try and make his way through yet, but with the exit spell, it's a quick check for a character. We may have Nightdew actually trying to take on the Baron Inn already.
So we have the Dark Imps and the Fabul Gauntlet boss fight. Should be a pretty free fight, although that does mean that not a chance to get Dark Imps in a higher power boss fight.
Yeah, oh, and Rivers does find a copy of Fusoya in the Abalon Cave, so that's going to be very nice for him.
Yeah. Not going to have too many spells yet, but that'll change soon enough.
And Nightdew finding the King and Queen Eblon behind the Rubicante boss in the Baron Inn, so that's going to be a free Rydia and key item for him here.
Yeah. Because generally, whatever is in the Baron Guard's boss spot, unless it's something like Golbez or Wyvern, isn't going to be too dangerous. But then you've got that second boss fight immediately afterwards that's got a bit more health and stats.
Rivers quickly checking Fuseya's spells, not seeing anything much of use. We may see him try for the Mist Dragon or the Octomom spot quickly to throw some quick spells. And elmagus gets himself a Leviathan summon in Fabul, which, you know, actually might come in use with Rydia in the Baron Inn.
Yeah. Because Rydia's value compared to any of the other characters with black magic kind of ties directly to whether or not you find a high power summon for her.
And
Like
Nightdew
Hobbit or
also
Leviathan.
getting an adamant armor from the Baron Inn. So he is going to have no problems with this early part of the game here.
So we'll see who he throws it on. Throws it on Rydia. It's an interesting choice.
With that Dragon Whip, she can dish out a decent amount of damage, though at level 1, he's going to need a few levels.
Does need a bit of levels before we actually see some payoff for that, but seems like as good a choice as any.
It'll also make for a really easy egg grind if they can find their way underground and find some sirens. So we got Rivers doing the Fabul Gauntlet now, which is the Imp's Scratchdragon heading in to get his Fusoya. I think elmagus is probably doing about the same, unlocking his hovercraft here, so... Yeah, it looks like all the runners are just kind of taking care of all the easy open spots first before they kind of commit to that hook seed that we may be in store for.
I do wonder if any of them are going to chance going to Mount Ordeals and hope to get the Magma Key there.
I mean, with a podium of Fusoya and Tella, it's not a bad idea. You get 3 bosses for a bunch of spells for Fusoya, and you unlock the rest of Tella's abilities. So it's not out of the question, but we'll see what these runners decide. See, even a level 1 Rydia is doing about 250 damage to these tokens. Yeah, nothing really telling yet. We have the hook, but, you know, do people go to Ordeals? I believe that's probably the last option left before using that hook to get to the underground. I guess Scratch is checking some bosses, finds the elements in the Mist Dragon spot. So it is possible that the Mist Dragon could be hiding in one of those boss spots as well.
So, based on that sprite, does that mean we're probably looking at Mylon 1 for the Rubicante spot? I'm not super familiar with which spots have palette glitches associated with them that can muddy the waters a bit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they both kind of show up as, I don't know, I've seen them as so many different colors that I could never keep track.
Yeah. Like I get Mylon 1 and Dark Imps kind of mixed up a fair bit, but we've already seen Dark Imps.
I guess we find the Antlion here in the Octomom spot, so no free Mist Dragon, but a couple bosses to power up Fusoya for Scratchdragon. It looks like Rivers
It's generally
just
the main reason that runners choose to fight the Mist Dragon or Octomam boss spots is Fusoya spells and or looking for the Mist Dragon in no free lunch mode to get a key item.
Yeah, without Fusoya, if you're looking for the Mist Dragon, you usually just reset out of these, because they're not even worth that much experience, but with Fusoya, they're just going to go for this easy experience. Easy spells for Fu, which looks like most runners are kind of working towards here. It may also depend on what spells they actually get from these fights if these runners decide to do Mount Ordeals. After cleaning up those bosses, we have at least Elmagus and Scratchdragon going in for that Baron infight, which we know is going to be fairly easy for them. Reward them with Iridia and an Adamant Armor. It looks like Nightdew is going to make the Mount Ordeals play, and he hasn't even picked up
Alright.
Fusoya yet.
That makes that even more bold of a play.
Yeah, I guess he's...
Although even though he doesn't have Fusoya yet, he is getting credit for all of his boss kills towards unlocking Fusoya's spell list. Keep in mind.
Definitely, and if he did see him in the Kaipo Inn, he knows he needs to defeat a certain amount. And with a Poison Axe and an Adamant Dragon Whip Iridia, he's gonna feel pretty confident about being able to take out these bosses here. See the rest of the runners kind of taking out the Baron in here. We'll be, I guess, happy and maybe sad at the same time about what they get, but...
And our first Mount Ordeals boss is Mom Bomb. It's always kind of it. Mom Bomb is, I think, one of the more interesting bosses, too, as far as kind of how different the fight can play out, depending on whether it's early or late. It's because of the big health pool it has before the explosion. If it's early, you're generally going to want to just tank that, but if it's late, you'll want to try to kill her before she explodes.
Early on, it can be a little difficult to get through that damage, but... making quick work of these bombs anyways, so...
Yeah, with that adamant armor, no, I don't think really much danger here.
No, definitely not. And see most of them just missing Iridia if they try and hit her. Her and Sid are making quick work of these, and we'll get on to the second boss.
Yeah, the Mylon Z boss spot, though, is guaranteed to be a back attack, and there are some pretty awful fights you can have to do there, like the Fabul Gauntlet or Plague.
Definitely. I mean, Fabul Gauntlet's more annoying for just kind of how long it takes. With an Adamant Armor, it's still pretty free.
And we have Dark Elf.
Not the worst boss. He might get a few of these casts off before he gets transformed, but...
Yeah, no Fu means no easy way to cheese the dragon form unless they have an hourglass or a coffin. Although I guess Tella does have stop in his starter spell list though, which does work on Dark Dragon form.
Definitely. Yeah, we'd see Scratch and elmagus both making the same play Nightdew's making, going up Mount Ordeals. See what Rivers decides to do here. So he's checking out a couple more shops before he decides. Although the other weakness that Dark Elf has when it goes into dragon form is it's a dragon against the dragon whip. Adamant Armor Iridia. I do making very quick work of that Dark Elf once it transforms.
And our third and final boss is usually kind of a gimme because of only having 1,000 health. But there are, again, a couple bosses that can still be rough and or annoying here.
Definitely. It looks like elmagus' Fusoya actually already has Quake, so he's gonna make pretty quick work of pretty much everything for the overworld here that he has left. And we do just find a shiny rock on Mount Ordeals, so it looks like we will be having a Hooksy.
And Leviathan, total freebie here, just because even if he gets his wave attack off, it only does percentage-based HP damage.
Definitely. And more spells for Fusoya, although we don't get to see them on Nightdew until he picks them up in the Eblon Cave, where he's almost certainly to be headed next. See the rest of everyone is making pretty quick work of these bosses on Mount Ordeals, Nightdew heading off. Everyone's still within pretty much a couple minutes of each other here.
Yeah. I think the main question at this point is which boss is in the King and Queen Eblon spot, because shouldn't really get stonewalled behind Mylon 1, assuming that's what's in the Rubicante spot, but there are some rough ones that could be in the King and Queen Eblon spot.
Yeah, there's some fast enemies that can make life a little difficult if they're in that spot, but I don't know, with the adamant armor, who knows? They might be able to just walk right through and get to the Underworld. Looks like elmagus' food just loomed Cure 4 off that Leviathan fight, so.
Some pretty nice pickups at the Mysidia item shop, too, between Cure 2s, Ether 1s, coffins, and silk webs.
Definitely some very nice utility items and a bit of curative items with the, a limited MP pool on the white mage capable characters. Looks like Nightdew's gonna make that Eblon play, but gonna check the shop here and egg out before he goes. Yeah, Stovales and cabins, definitely two things you like to see. Yeah, with the very limited kind of key items we've got here, it looks like everyone's just going to be doing a little bit more shopping up, and then I'm pretty sure we're going to see everyone diving through that Eblon Cave. Hopefully that first boss isn't too bad for our runners here, and Nightdew looting up some chests on his way, maybe looking for those monster chests to get some experience and possibly a nice item or weapon for one of his party members.
Yeah, because there is only one trap chest in Cave Eblon, so once you know where that is, you can open the rest of the chests without fear, too. Not that they have too much reason to be afraid of the stalemain at this point.
Now, we saw everyone that ran in to get Fu earlier kind of avoid them, but at this point he's got a few levels, got an adamant armor, he should be good to fight them even if he does find them. Which he does right there. Has an hourglass to throw out. As we see Scratchdragon kind of avoiding everything here. Just kind of heading straight up into the tower section. Yeah, looking like Scratch wants nothing to do with any of these treasures. Just
Yeah,
want to
he's
get
just
straight
zooming
down.
straight for the boss.
Looks like River's deciding to fight that that wyvern up there. I guess he's going for some Fusoya spells. Gets a Quake off before Wyvern gets his Mega Nuke, so that should take care of him for some.
All right, and we have
More spells.
Kalbrunna, which with the Quake spell should be a free kill.
Yeah, out of the Quake spell, and even Hourglasses can stop the back ones, so.
Which are the higher HP dolls.
Oh, it doesn't look like Scratchdragon actually has any Hourglasses, so probably just gonna fire off a Quake here and take care of them. Yeah, looks like the rest of our runners are making the same play here. Everyone else heading into Eblon or already in there. I'm gonna guess we're gonna get some pretty quick people down into the Underworld with the bosses that are there, being one of the Mylons and the dolls here.
And I figured we wouldn't see a safety save based on that sprite. Okay, it's Mylon Z, not Mylon 1. Without having hourglasses, I would probably want to see this guy instead.
And elmagus has found the 4 Mad Ogre fight. Okay, with a Poison Axe on Sid, they're actually weak to that, so they should die fairly quickly.
Yeah, this fight is pretty good for leveling up on, too, if you use the Vitality Zero glitch on 3 of the ogres.
Looks like he missed it on the first one, Berserking Sid, but gonna get 2 of these last 3. Get himself, I think, around 13,000 experience with those 2 lives or so. See Nightdew making the same play. Well, Scratchdragon deals with his Mylon Z. Casting Fire Throughs with Fusoya does quite a bit of damage to Mylon.
Still gonna take a bit to chew through 25,000 health, though.
Seeing how much his Foo's getting hit for, I'm guessing he threw the Adamant onto him, though. So, he should be pretty safe.
Alright, and at a little under 27 minutes, we have our first player in the Underworld.
Have some definitely key items here up for grabs, with everyone already having the pan. Be able to turn that in right away for 3 items. There's the Feymarch chest, and then see where they go from there.
And let's also see if Scratchdragon decides to peek at the Dr. Luge boss spot. We have Octomam. I think that was Octomam through the poison blurring.
Yeah, it looked like Octomam.
That poison blur going off at basically double the speed intended by the original developers is always a treat. Alright, and as expected, Scratch going straight for the Sylph Cave so he can get his 3 key item potential spots out of the way from the vanilla Sylph at in this cave, and then the 2 items from Yang's wife.
Yeah. I expect him to possibly take a look down into the Feymarch before he goes back into the Overworld just for the free chest, but we'll see what he decides to do here.
Probably some value in checking the item shop there too, if we haven't found hourglasses yet or sirens.
I saw some hourglasses. I'm not sure if they're just the ones people picked up or shop maybe scratch and check. Gets himself a Stardust Rod from the Sylphs for hitting Yang with the pan.
Yeah. Good pickup for Fusoya.
May even possibly go on Rydia for her Leviathan summon, but he's gonna head down to the Feymarch here to check out the free chest. Probably take a peek at the 2 bosses in the item shop while he's down here. See, Elmagus taking out Mylon Z, owning himself his Underworld access as well. Nightdew heading into the fight, and Rivers making his way down.
Alright, and in the vanilla rat tail chest we have Magma Key. Well, 10% of the way towards double experience at this point.
Yep, that's pretty much what that is.
You know, if anybody hasn't seen it yet, though, in a non-league final situation like this, I recommend using the Magma Key in Agart after you've already drilled out of the Underworld from below. It's pretty funny.
One of the few Easter eggs that have been put into this randomizer. We do see that Soda Strad going onto Rydia.
Along with the black robe for, I guess, lack of any better armor to put on her, since in this version of FF4 the black robe is actually bugged and raises the white magic stat instead of the black magic stat.
Yeah, it's a little kind of weird thing, but it still provides a decent amount of armor for its use. Everyone's walking around poison now, and now people get to hear it.
Alright, and it looks like we've got Valvalis and one of the other moon bosses in the Ashura and Leviathan spots.
That Valvalis fight, not something that's going to be great if they don't get Kain as their last character.
Yeah, so unless Kain is our 5th character, that could be a potential roadblock.
Yeah. So he's going to go toad in that pan to see what he gets. He's going to hit up the Dwarf Castle, cabining up, so I'm gonna guess he's actually gonna fight the bosses here and see what he gets, maybe looking for that 5th character as well. No, we have not seen the 5th character at all yet. We do have Ashura in the first spot of Dwarf Castle, though, with a decently powered up Fu, it shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Yeah, I mean, if they have the walls, well, they do have the wall spell from Tella, if nothing else, so this should be pretty easy. Along with the Quake spell, which can penetrate wall. Or we can skip that and just go directly to Meteo, like Elmagus is doing.
Well, should definitely do some damage here. Until you actually hit Ashura, it's not going to actually attack. It's just going to sit there and try and heal itself. Following up with a Leviathan cast from Rydia to Meteor does the job, takes out Ashura.
It's always a sigh of relief for me, at least, to get Ashura in a pretty easy spot, too, because I've gotten stonewalled by her numerous times in hook seeds or during crystal hunts.
Yeah, definitely one of those bosses that can appear in some annoying spots. And we have Rivers at 33 minutes, so just about 6 minutes behind our first runner into the Underworld, making it down, so...
And in the Golbez spot, we have Baron Guards, which is going to be a gimme. Baron Guards aren't too threatening alone, and the Golbez spot is pretty low health.
Yep, so a single Quake will take care of that. I actually didn't see who was the copy character there.
That was Tella, was the Dwarf Castle character.
Scratch finally heading up to hand in his Giladas. Looks like he did a little bit of shopping before. Oh, he hasn't even done for Bool yet. So he actually went through that entire hook seed without actually doing the Fabul Gauntlet.
Yeah, I'm curious if that was part of his routing or just an oversight.
I mean, knowing he got the Magma Key already from where he's been, it's not like he would have saved any time.
And we get a glass helmet from King Giat. Not terribly useful at this point.
Definitely not. So we do find some Bacchus wines for, I guess, Sid at this point in Dwarf Castle. Scratch makes very quick work of those Dark Imps. We'll get his... I believe this was the Leviathan summon?
And black belt found in one of the carrot pots in the Dwarf Castle, which is pretty good pickup for Sid.
So handing into Sheila from visiting the Sylph Cave. Gets himself a pink tail. And then Excalibur.
Well, one of those is useful right away. The other only if Cecil is the 5th character.
Yeah, but a second Adamant armor is definitely going to be a very nice addition.
Or I guess also Edge could throw it if Edge is our 5th.
Ah, and here are the hourglasses that Scratchdragon was missing in the Fabul shop.
Yeah, chat does raise a good point too, that unlike the first 2 final matches where the players had to place above a certain rank, this is winner takes all, so we may see some riskier routing decisions with that in mind.
Definitely, yeah. This is the finals of the entire league. See, we're just switching out his airships because only the Enterprise can pick up the hovercraft here to go get his second adamant armor. See Nightdew actually taking out the Lunar Dragons.
I missed where Nightdew found Bahamut, but yeah, a high power summon makes pretty short work of the D-Lunars.
We do find a Baron Key from the D-Lunars.
And unsurprisingly, not going to even try to fight Belvalis. I mean, that is a very, very awful spot to have to fight her, especially if there's without Kane. So I can see that being pretty much a last resort on the Crystal Hunt.
Definitely. Baron is something we might see. Has another slot at another chance at the 5th character here for us. If it is Kane, then we might see them eventually going back for that Valvalis fight. But otherwise, I feel like that's something that could be left till quite near the end. Dark Knight Cecil was in the Beigen spot in Baron, yes.
And at this point, I think they might be able to just overwhelm Dark Knight Cecil without waiting for the 3 turns. But we'll see what they do.
Find some Ether 2s here in the Dwarf Town, which are a very nice find for having a Fusoya and a Tella.
But yeah, Baron, two key items. One should be relatively free. The other maybe a little less so, and then a chance at their 5th character too.
Yeah. Beyond that, we have, I guess, the Valvala spot and a keyless tower to go up would be the other option. So we have both Rivers and Scratch going into the Dwarf Castle for these fights. Gonna be slightly disappointed in an extra Tella and a glass helmet. Now we also have Nightdew in here, so 3 of our runners in here. Elmagus having already completed that, now doing his Fey March dive. We'll see if he decides to fight either of these bosses.
Yeah, I mean, already knowing that Wyvern is out of the way, I feel like that would kind of sweeten the spot to at least peek at what the lunar boss here is.
Definitely, yeah. I assume he's going to at least check that one out. Immediately avoids Valve there. Looks like he's going to go with another Meteocast. Although these do melee decently hard.
Yeah, I mean, what I fear the most in these Fey March boss spots is bosses like Antlion or Octomam, or basically anything that pretty much exclusively uses melee attacks.
Although it looks like
you're gonna hit fast and hit hard.
It looks like both Hudia and Fusea are rocking adamant armor, so I think you should be pretty safe for melee attacks.
Yep. Sadly, no froggy strats in the finals.
Picking up his glass helmet in a second, and Elmagus getting his Baron key from the D-Lunars here. Yeah, Yaga, if you haven't seen it, you can actually reflect the breath attack from the D-Lunars, and it turns them into frogs, which renders them pretty much useless and weak. Looks like Elmagus is deciding to immediately make the Baron play with that Baron key he got. Gonna check for his character, probably check out both these spots.
Yeah, without having the tower key, I definitely agree with doing this instead of lower Babil.
Yeah, I mean, he has a full power of Fusaya and 2 Adamant, so even the Odin spot, I would assume he's gonna check and hopefully not have too much of a problem with. So there's still the possibility of some trolling in this seed. We don't have Crystal or the Darkness Crystal. We have not seen the Mist Dragon.
And Dark Knight Cecil gets one shot by Flare, negating the need to wait for 3 Dark Waves plus the text afterwards.
Just ethering up Fusia, not even caring about Sid and Tella. Nightdew picking up his adamant armor here. Have the King Ogopogo.
A little scary looking, just because Ogopogo does always start by taking away half of your max health, but the Kainazo boss spot only has about 4,000 health, so Magus should be able to take it down before it does anything else.
Yeah, 5,200 Leviathan cast taking care of that quickly. We actually have Scratchdragon doing the keyless tower run. I guess if he checked the boss before, he does know it's the Octomom, so... Knowing a boss with mostly physical attacks with 2 adamant ammos shouldn't pose too much of a problem for him.
We've got double mops on Magus' stream there. So still no dice on 5th character.
Only a few more spots to check. The package, the moon, and the end of the giant, I believe.
And Tower of Zot. Once they
Oh
get
yes, the Oath
Crystal.
Crystal. So I guess 5 spots left, technically. As the Oath Crystal is 2. See if Magus gets a key item from this pot here and allows him to move on, or...
And then the Octomam fight here, going to be pretty simple, since Dr. with the spells and equipment he has, along with the fact that Octomam gets slower after every 3 followed by 2 hits.
See a Luca key coming out of the Baron Castle. Looks like Elmagus is cabining up, saving, so I'm gonna guess he's gonna go in for that Odin
Yeah, he's
spot.
going back in to check the Odin spot.
River's doing the D-Lunar fight for his Baron key. Which I'm guessing is the reason that Scratchdragon decided to do towers. He didn't actually fight that Lunar boss spot, so...
Looks like we have either Water Hag or Fabul here, and it's Fabul. This is not really what you want to see here.
I got 2 seeds
with
in a row.
With the adamant armors, it should be. I mean, he's not really in danger, but this is going to take a while, and if it ends up being a junk item, then probably be a little salty.
Yeah, and I think that's 2 seeds in a row with a gauntlet in the Odin spot. Scratchdragon grabbing the Darkness Crystal from the top of the tower. That definitely opens up a lot of possibilities.
The Darkness Crystal opens up a fair bit of stuff on the moon, along with the Giant. We can still hold out hope for that Mist Dragon at CPU.
See Pogo getting Bahamutted down on Nightdew stream. Magus kind of making slow work of this gauntlet, I guess. And River's leaving the Fame Ouch with his Baron key now. Looks like we have Scratch gonna go directly to activate that big whale and head up to the moon.
Wouldn't surprise me if he checks out the Hummingway Cave before going to either Bahamut or the Lunar Subterrane.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess he'll check that. Most likely check the character. We'll see if he does Lunar Subterrane before Bahamut Cave, but Nightdew finishing up his Baron Castle here, about to get his Luca key. River's heading in for that, and Magus just finishing up this gauntlet fight.
Yeah, it should be one more fight for Magus before we find out if his play paid off.
See if it was time well spent. Looks like Nightdew's cabining up outside of Baron. Looks like he's going to make the same play Elmagus did and head for that for Wool Gauntlet. Scratchdragon heading directly for that shop. Elmagus receives.
And we get a Murasame.
A nice shiny sword.
Not really what he wanted to see here.
It's like the Moon Shop actually rewards us with Cure 3s, so definitely a nice item to see, but probably not the Sirens he was hoping for.
Have we seen Bacchus yet?
Yeah, Bacchuses were in the Dwarf Castle, I believe. Magus picked up a bunch of them. See if Scratchdragon finds the 5th character on the moon.
And who's going to be welcoming us here? It's Kane!
So that definitely opens up a couple things. I mean,
Yeah.
we might need some levels, but Valvolus is definitely on the table now.
Yeah.
Not sure if we found any good weapons
Yeah,
for
I
him
was
or
just
not, but
thinking too. Yeah, I don't think I've seen any high power spear pickups or an Avenger.
I think I've seen a Blizzard Spear is the highest I remember seeing, but see if any of the runners still have it or whatnot.
So yeah, so what's Scratch gonna do now? Is he gonna? Okay, it looks like he is going back into the Lunar Palace to go into the subterrane.
Yeah, just wanted to kind of save there.
If he was gonna go back to Earth and fight Valvalis or stay on the moon.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
statistically, he's more likely to find value on the moon.
I mean, also with a level 10 Kane, you probably don't want to be fighting Valvolus yet. Elmagus diving the Luca cave here. I guess he hasn't done Keyless Tower yet, so this is one of the options he has left before doing a Keyless Tower or, you know, trying to go through that Valvolus fight.
I always also find it interesting to see what order runners check the lunar subterranean boss spots into, whether they start with Pale Dim and then work their way down, or whether they head straight for the save room and do the locations all in a row and then head back up.
Yeah, looks like he finds Mylon here in the Pale Dim spot, though. Should be a relatively easy fight. Elmagus finds himself the package in the Luca cave, which I don't think he can leave at this point because D-Mist might be there.
Yeah, and Kane could be in this too.
Oh, D-Mist is actually here.
Oh, interesting. Well, now that changes. That spices this up a little bit.
Definitely so. Yeah, he's definitely going to want to go through this fight. And, you know, even if he doesn't end up using that package, he's going to want to find out what this D-Mist is going to give him. Yeah, we got Nightdew and Rivers kind of going through a fight to get what we now know is a useless sword. Scratchdragon searching on the moon, going through these bosses, and Elmagus is fighting a D-Mist in the Luca cave. Or the, I guess, sealed cave.
As a runner of Final Fantasy VI, too, I often get tripped up between the sealed cave and the sealed gate cave.
And the Mist Dragon goes down. Elmagus is probably going to warp his way out of here and go straight to Udia's mother, I would assume.
Yeah, because the exit spell is disabled in the sealed cave for story reasons, so have to use warp to get out faster.
Scratchdragon working away at this Mylon fight. I don't think it should be much longer here. This nuke actually takes it out. We'll see what he gets here. An Artemis bow. And if you have some arrows, it's actually probably one of the best weapons for Sid.
Yeah, that'd probably be the good person to have it if Scratch has that dragon whip for Rydia.
At this point, I think he's mostly using Rydia for casting with Leviathan Summon or the Bahamut Summon if he picked it up.
Yeah, I mean, I might have that Stardust rod on her too.
And Elmagus here going into the back end of the Mist Village to see what Rydia's mother has for him.
And she has Crystal.
Oh.
Well,
Now,
I would
interestingly
definitely
enough,
call I would call this a pretty fitting seed for the finals then, since we had where was the Luca key again?
Lukaki was in the Baron Castle, which came from the D Lunars in the Feymouch.
Yeah, so quite the item chain to eventually lead to the crystal through the Mist Dragon at the Evil Wall spot.
Yeah, we have Nightdew going through the sealed cave right now, and it looks like River's going through, and we kind of now know Scratch is just kind of wasting time on the moon.
Yeah,
Sad enough
kind of
for him.
sad to see now, because Magus is doing his keyless tower now, which we now know leads to the Darkness Crystal, which is going to unlock Go mode for Elmagus.
Definitely. Just to see if he'll head up to do a D machine grind, see if he'll even check for Kane first, or
Yeah, because he did not check who the package character was. Because he could have saved and then gone back into Mist to at least check who the package character was and then reset if it was a dupe. But he just left and headed straight for the tower.
he might also feel that the time isn't worth it, knowing he has the crystal, and there's only going to be... This is pretty much the last option besides Valvolus for a way to the moon.
But yeah, Nightdew not too far behind though, doing the Mist Dragon fight right now, and assuming he immediately leaves and goes to check Rydia's mother, Nightdew will also have the crystal.
Scratchdragon in the D Lunar spot fighting the Kaipo Baron guards. I guess now taking out the Octomom at the top of the tower, which will grant him his Darkness Crystal. Oh no, Rivers. Rivers reset.
Is it Rivers noped out of Sealed Cave, I take it?
Yeah, he saw the package and just noped out. Didn't even
that's
check
sad
the
to
boss.
see.
We may see him get this Darkness Crystal and go up to the moon like Scratchdragon.
If he noped out of the cave like that, that's pretty much what he has to do at this point.
At this point, I kind of feel like it's going to be a race between Elmagus and Nightdew. Elmagus definitely in the lead, grabbed his Darkness Crystal there, heading out of the tower to probably immediately go to the moon. Yeah, that is correct. With that Darkness Crystal, it does put Elmagus at 10 key items for double experience as well, so...
So if we still haven't actually seen Sirens, then probably going to be looking at a D machine grind.
Yeah, and it was only Cure 3s and some other item on the Moon Shop, so. I would assume he's gonna check, maybe check the character, and then go for the D Machine grind here. Turned out to be a lot of levels for Kane.
Yeah, because when a character joins you, they get what we like to call the slingshot effect, where they get triple XP from the first fight after they join up. So that can be used strategically to turn a fresh recruit into your highest level character.
See, Nightdew picking up his crystal here now. I'd assume he's going to make the same play, go in for the tower as one of the few spots left to look for access to the moon here. See if he... No, he also decides not even to bother checking the package here. Oh, maybe he's going to save before seeing if it's someone useful. Oh, this could waste some time. If it is Kane, he might decide to stay, even though... Oh no, he resets, even if it is Kane. Omega's checking the shop.
Scratchdragon pulling a defense sword in the plague boss spot.
That's a good weapon for Kane.
Yeah, especially if it's replacing the dwarf axe, which lowers Kane's agility.
Gonna throw an adamant armor on Kane now that he has some levels and, you know, a decent weapon to go with. Omega's gonna pick up his Kane here, and I'm gonna guess nope out immediately and go to that D Machine grind to set up for the final boss. River's now going down the same rabbit hole as Scratchdragon with the Darkness Crystal. Whereas Nightdew's climbing to get his Darkness Crystal, but he already actually has his real crystal to fight Zeromus. Looks like elmagus is either gonna fight things here in the Lunar Subterrane for levels, possibly. Yeah, elmagus turns on encounters and starts walking. So he's only going to get a semi-slingshot on Kane, but yeah, I'm sure he's fine with that, obviously. Scratchdragon finding Odin here in the Ogopogo spot, I believe.
Yeah, it does seem like it's going to come down to grinding strats and the Zeromus fight as far as seeing who our Highway to the Zemus-Zone champion is at this point.
Definitely. I mean, 150,000 experience for fighting a few mobs up on the moon is nothing to scoff at either. Kane was still dead, so technically hasn't leveled yet. We'll see what elmagus decides to do here.
Yeah, if he's kind of biding his time until he gets like a double King Ryu fight, or if he's just going to leave Kane dead until he actually fights a boss.
Scratchdragon went into a little bit of a problem with Odin here and having to take a wipe here. He was picking up his Kane on the moon and about to start fighting a bunch of bosses that he doesn't need to. Nightdew is taking out the Octomom at the top of the tower for his Darkness Crystal. And elmagus does find a double King Ryu fight. Posting 180,000 experience with that doubling, so my guess would be he's going to pick up Kane here, but you don't know. We'll never know. Yeah, throws the life of Kane. I guess he's going to keep Tella dead to keep whatever agility he has. At this point, there's no real reason to level him up much more. Yeah.
Casual 35 level bonus there.
Not bad. Instantly a level 45 Kane.
I've seen some Disgaea tier level boosts from doing D-Machine grind with Slingshot effect on like level 1 Rydia or something like that.
Yeah, I think I've taken Iridia in there and boosted her all the way to 99 before, not really realizing it. Scratchdragon trying to beat the zone before he kind of gets one shot here in a second. Tempted for a lightning 2 for the insta-kill, but just beats it right here. See what he gets with his trouble, but sadly we know it's not what he wants. Finds a spoon. Right. Looks like Nightdew is just checking a couple shops or picking up some items that he knew existed before heading for the moon here. Just taking out Bygone here on the moon. It's level 10 Kane doing about 20 damage with a physical attack.
Nightdew getting his lunar whale, so really curious to see what his next play is now that he's in go mode. If he's going to do something similar to Magus with the with just grinding on normal encounters in the lunar subterrane, or if he has something else in mind.
Yeah, my guess is he's gonna do the same shop check, do the character check, get Kane, and then we'll see what he fully decides after that. Scratchdragon fighting Kainazo. Not the most fun fight, but like River is pulling the Twin Hope out of the Bahamut Cave. Looks like he's leaving the moon immediately, so he might just be following that to see if the value really is in Cave Bahamut.
That does sound like a very Rivers thing to do. And more importantly, we'll let our viewers know what our final Twin Harp song of the league is.
Looks like Magus actually had a Siren in his inventory, so going to use it here for the guaranteed King Ryu fight. My guess is he's probably going to be heading into that final fight soon. His Kane and Sid definitely have enough HP. It's just if he feels comfortable with how he's going to heal with Fusoya. Nightdew picking up his Kane here. We'll see if he decides to run through the lunar subterrane fighting or head for a D-Machine grind. Scratchdragon picking up a rat tail on the Wyvern spot fighting Kainazo. So I believe that's his last spot besides possibly the Twin Hope in the Bahamut Cave.
Nightdew's going in.
And elmagus learns Nuke on Rydia, hitting level 50, and I'm gonna guess that's gonna be his sign to just go for it at this point.
so assuming we're looking at the same grinding strats, that does put elmagus in a somewhat of a lead at this point, and realistically, we're probably going to need a death to Zeromus in order to swing it at this point, but you never know what tricks, whatever custom final boss sprite we're looking at tonight has in store.
Sadly, we're not going to get to hear what the music is. It actually is the Danger Zone music.
Yeah, I'm listening to River Stream Direct right now and hearing it too.
I did the same.
I figure I'll give everyone a quick peek before we hop back over to the Zeromus music.
Fair enough. And we do get to see what the Zeromus sprite is going to be.
Welcome to your custom sprite. I believe this is from the Final Fantasy... Oh, wait, Skull is here. You tell them.
I am here. Can everyone hear me okay? I hope so.
Loud and clear for me.
Awesome. Wonderful. You know, we had this whole big tournament, and we didn't get to see someone very important who this tournament is named after. So I thought it was only fitting for the finale to let Zeromus come in and make a great, grand HD entrance. The sprite is from the Puzzle and Dragons Final Fantasy collaboration, and Board and I worked very, very hard to actually get this to fit into the SNES. I think it's one of our, like, in terms of file size, one of the biggest sprites. Also in terms of just general size. So I'm glad that people are here, and I'm glad I was able to get here. I literally just got home. I was watching, like, I was listening to on Bluetooth on my way home, and being like, I guess don't get there before I get here. Anyway, I'm gonna leave you all to talk about this amazing Z fight. Chat, I'm sure you all have been awesome today. Also, I'm sure all the L&M stuff was fantastic, and I'm going to scoot back out and watch with everyone in chat.
Thanks very much, Scholar. Yeah, it's definitely quite the
Quite
the sprite.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun to get that in there. So, and I think it's a good finale sprite. But I'll let you all go back to commentating the fight.
Yeah. So unsurprisingly, with these characters, Megas going for the reflect kill with Rydia and Fusoya bouncing spells to try to run down Zeromus' 61,000 hit points without triggering the health refill he normally gets below, I believe, 12,000, I think.
Yeah, I believe, like, Kane didn't really have a good weapon, so this is probably the best strat with, decent equipment for, I think a couple adamant armors on his caster and a Stardust Rod. And... As the main problem he's going to have is having his Rydia live through unnerfed big bangs. Oh, not too bad though. Well, it looks like we do have Scratchdragon having both the Twin Hope and the Earth Crystal now, kind of heading towards that Twin Hope. It's like Rivers is looking for a D-Machine grind fight, and Nightdew still just kind of leveling up on the moon here. was just reflecting nukes back and forth. It shouldn't be too much longer now before.
Yeah, the Zeromus fight is not randomized at all except for the sprite, but depending on what characters and gear and levels you have for the fight, strategies can vary quite a bit. Alright, and with that flash, we have our 2018 Free Enterprise Highway to the Zemus-Zone League champion, elmagus.
Definitely. Congratulations to elmagus for a great run, great entire league, and congratulations to everyone that ran in this. Like, we had an amazing turnout for this entire league, so.
Yeah, and all kinds of great support for behind-the-scenes work with restreaming, commentary, tracking, and stuff too.
Looks like we'll have elmagus joining us in a couple of minutes here.
Yeah, all of these runners have run already 2 races before this one. So, yeah, they're allowed a little break, we figure, before they come and talk to us about this.
Yeah, definitely. A long period of running for all of these racers, so, like, make sure to give them all a follow. They all did great.
Yeah, personally, doing multiple randomizer races back-to-back, I feel takes some skill too, just as far as just keeping it straight, where stuff is.
Definitely looks like Nightdew is gonna, be a runner-up here. He's, grinding. He might be done in a second here with everything he needs. Scratchdragon and kind of Rivers are just kind of still clearing up everything else or leveling up here, and see what happens.
You definitely wonder after Rivers is done grinding, though, at what point he's going to start a Mist Dragon hunt.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he decides to do. Like, how far along is the thought process to go back into that sealed cave?
Like, are we perhaps going to see him actually fight the bosses in the giant while he's here, looking for Mist Dragon, or is he going to leave and go look other places?
Yeah, it's quite possible that we may see that, looking for the Mist Dragon. Gonna get the levels here he needs to pretty much fight anything he needs to for the rest. Casual, 900,000 experience, I think it was. And we are joined by the champion of the Highway to the Zemus-Zone League, elmagus.
GG, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, how'd you feel about that run? Everything seemed to go pretty well for you there.
I mean, that was so much less trolly than I thought it would be. I don't know, like, we got the seed and then there's epic music and I'm like, oh no, it's pre-made, oh my god. It's going to be something very bad happening, and then no, it was pretty straightforward. We got an adamant early, which was super nice. Super cool. And the second one, almost for free all along the way, so, and since we also had Leviathan and Fusoya, I mean, it was super easy. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, Board kept stating that he only changed, like, the sprite at the end, so he's saying that
Okay.
the website generated it, really.
Okay, that's fair. But yeah, I mean, I'm really happy. What can I say? I don't know. I didn't think I would actually pull this off, but we did it.
Did really well. We just have Nightdew entering the fight now. He got the crystal not far behind you. Sadly, Scratchdragon found the Darkness Crystal first and fought everything on the moon, and now he's just going to fight the D-Lunars. Rivers got the package and reset.
Yeah, that was the biggest heartbreak of the match by far.
Oh.
Because you had already gotten the crystal from Rydia's mother, and then Rivers just noped out of the package without checking the boss spot. That was-
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was on my reset button. I'm not gonna lie. And then I'm like, hold on, there could be a dragon here, and yeah. Man, that is unfortunate though.
I think the only thing that could have been worse is it not being the Mist Dragon, resetting, and then it's Mist Dragons in, the Kaipo win.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh.
that honestly made me not reset in the first place, because like I was thinking about it, and like, hold on, there's a boss here, and then yeah.
Definitely. But yeah, like you said, it was just pretty straightforward run. Everyone kind of got that adamant armor and either threw it on Fusaya or Rydia or someone and made pretty quick work of everything. It's just the small decisions people made to either reset or take the wrong path that, fortunately for you, took the right path and ended up with your win.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what would have happened in the seed, honestly, if Valvolis had the Darkness Crystal. Can you
Yeah,
imagine?
that was something we were nervous about after seeing the Fate March bosses too. And since Kane hadn't been seen by anyone yet, if we were looking at a required Valvalis without Kane in that spot.
Luckily enough, the package did also have Kane, so if that did become a thing, you could have gone.
Okay. Could have trained up and then somehow, yeah. Okay. Oh man.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Like, we saw you get to the moon and everything and just kind of use random encounters to level up instead of, a D machine grind. Is that just a choice because, you don't have the pass, so you're going to have to walk down anyways type thing? Or...
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I was reasonably high level 30-ish already, so it's like, well, I can probably do with, like, 6 to 7 random encounters to just get nuked for Rydia, and then hope that my Big Bang rolls are not too bad. Because, I mean, because it was so straightforward, I didn't know how I would do against, like, the other 3. So, like, I was trying to optimize it, like, with a little bit of risking something as much as possible, and that's why I decided to use the random encounters.
Yeah, it's what I pretty much thought, and yeah, as soon as you got that nuke, you just kind of turned encounters off and went straight forward.
Yeah.
Nightdew nuking his own Sid by accident. Yeah, we actually do have Scratchdragon fighting Valvalis right now. So, luckily he has the levels and the cane to take care of it, but sadly for him, it is not what he needed to do. Yeah, do you have any other comments or well wishes or anything to say, Magus, about
or
the
spoilers
entire
about
league?
your custom Z sprite?
Oh yes.
I don't know about the sprite, but I do have a couple words for somebody. Suck it, Nerm! And yeah, other than that, I'm just happy. It's the first tournament I ever won, so I'm just happy. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Nightdew finishing up his Zeromus fight.
Sadly, Rivers and Scratch both just kind of finishing off the few things before they eventually get back into that Luca cave. I guess Scratch doesn't even have the Luca key. I mean, I don't know if he's even beat the D-Lunars yet. He's just beaten Valvalis now. Valvalis holding the pass.
I would just worry that Rivers would start fighting all the other random bosses around before going back into the sealed cave to check that boss.
Yeah, I have a feeling that it might be one of the last things he does. Like,
Are we gonna see CPU spot before we see Evil Wall spot?
That's what I'm worried about.
It's definitely a possibility, and like it's still Scratch can still fight almost everything. I guess he's fought almost everything except for Baron, so. But we now see Scratchdragon going into the Baron Castle, where he will eventually get his Luca key, which hopefully will eventually lead him to that D-Mist to get his crystal. Rivers kind of finishing off these last couple bosses on the moon, I guess, and then gonna head back. We'll probably see him fight Valvalus, I would think, first.
Yeah, because she'll be much less of a threat with Kane.
Definitely. With that flash.
Is done.
Yep.
GG to Nightdew.
Taking second place here, the time of 1:24:37. Megas of SS, yeah, it's a C3 seed, so that means there's only 5 available characters in the entire run. So there's just a lot of duplicates of characters sitting around.
Yeah, I do enjoy watching C3 runs because it often forces use of weaker characters in the end game. But on the flip side, it also generally means we're seeing the same general strategies for the Zeromus fight too.
Definitely. I'm now joined by Nightdew coming second place. Hey, congratulations, GG Nightdew.
Thank you very much.
So yeah, how did you feel about that run and the Mist Dragon holding that crystal hiding in the sealed cave?
Out of all the times, and I know I'm guilty of it as well, there have been so many seeds where, people have jumped in, checked the Luca Cave item, saw that it was Garbo, and reset out.
Yeah, sadly, that's what happened to Rivers, actually.
Oh no.
He noped out after seeing the package, and is now looking everywhere else.
Oh no, yeah. I hate to see it, but I've seen it so many times. I'm like, we gotta take a look at this boss, and I had a very good laugh when I saw Mist Dragon, but other than that, the seed was...
Yeah, because we were also talking, too, about how it is possible that the package could be the Mist Dragon.
That
In the Kaiko battle.
That also entertained my head. Like, do I just go out with it? I'm sure I can take this boss, whatever. I got 2 adamants and 2 really heavy casters for it, which is pretty much the story of that seed there. But
yeah, sadly for Rivers, he did nope out and kind of ended up going Keyless Tower, getting that Darkness Crystal going to the moon. Scratch didn't even fight the D-Lunars, so he didn't even get that Baron key and found the Darkness Crystal and went to the moon.
Yeah, I thought that might have happened. I was kind of hoping that everybody kind of went down that rabbit hole. It appears elmagus did not. Very good game, elmagus. Well-deserved win.
But yeah, like with a decently early Fusaya and free adamant armors, it seemed. Everyone had a generally easy time of the early game.
I was sweating a bunch walking into that ruby spot until I saw Fu and the kind of easy stuff that was there. I'm like, okay, and now we're going here. I mean,
yeah.
But second place, totally happy with that. Did not expect myself to go this far or finish that well, so I feel awesome. My heart rate can slow down now.
Yeah, as well you should. Congrats, sir.
Definitely a well done tournament, and congrats on second place.
Awesome, thank you very much, and for everybody out there, I will likely be in the next one. I hope you hope this has got a lot more people to join in. I know there's been a ton more people out there doing that, but yeah, I hope to see a lot more fresh faces in there. Throw some of us another challenge in terms of next time this kind of thing happens.
Yeah, and I'm sure people that missed the announcement before this final match started, I'm sure it'll be repeated after we're all done here too, before we sign off.
I'll have to go back and watch that, but yeah, I'm gonna pop out and see how third and fourth place shake up. But thank you all, everybody, and thanks for the entire team to run this awesome final sprite. Yeah, this was absolutely.
Yeah, you definitely want to
fun.
watch the because when Magus got to Zeromus, the designer of the sprite hopped onto our call to give the backstory behind it too, and that's definitely some interesting lore too that I didn't even know going into this.
All right, well, you all have a good night, and I'll see y'all in chat in just a sec, probably.
Yeah, and now we just have the search for the crystal for Rivers and Scratchdragon for third place. Scratch now taking out that Bull Gauntlet that will lead to.
Lead to absolutely nothing
Mira
at this
Masa.
point, now that we know that Ed isn't in the seed.
Yeah, Mira-sama or Mira-masa, I can't remember which one. Rivers taking out the Odin fight before he's going to have to return to Earth and decide what he wants to do next.
Alright, River's heading back to Earth. Where is he gonna go?
My bet is still on the Valveless spot first, and then probably realizing what haven't I checked.
Yeah, because if he was going back to the giant, I believe he could have done that from the moon. I think you can go to the giant from the whale, regardless of where it is.
Yep. He might still have the rat tail to turn in. It looks like he may do that first, not realizing his hovercraft, I think, is already over there from turning in the pink tail for the adamant. Scratchdragon getting his now defunct sword. Hopefully he's going to head into that Luca cave now, as I think it's his only option left.
Yeah, and with that being said, no real chance of him noping out of the package, I'd say.
Can't be the only. Where is the tower key?
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. We have not actually seen that yet. Oh yeah, I guess the tower key is in the Tower of Zot. One tower to another.
Fair enough. Although we do see Scratch now heading into that Luca cave. Hopefully he sees the package, goes, this could still hold the Mist Dragon, and walks out. See Rivers going for that Valveless fight down in the Feymarch.
Or that Scratchdragon at least checks the boss before noping out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there isn't many options left. Hopefully he realizes that the Mist Dragon's on the table, and at least maybe thinks, oh, this package might hold it, and then finds it afterwards.
Because again, there's in addition to the evil wall boss spot, there is the Kaipo battle you gain access to with the package, so that's 2 chances at the Mist Dragon.
Truth for Scratchdragon here. No, no, no. Oh.
Wow.
Is he going to go up the giant?
Oh,
Yeah.
I felt that. I felt that in my heart.
Oh, Scratch.
Is this?
Well,
Oh,
we
was he do the
definitely
Earth
have
Crystal?
a race for third on our hands again.
Who's gonna think to go back and check that boss first?
Yeah, it looks like Tower of Zot into Tower Key first. Question is, after this Valveless fight, will Rivers think, I should go back in the sealed cave, or I should do the Earth Crystal?
I mean, noping out of the sealed cave kind of just tells me that the runner just doesn't really have the Mist Dragon on their mind, if they're only really thinking about possible key item spots and not boss spots.
Yeah, that could quite possibly be the case here, as Rivers picks up his pass from beating Valveless, and I guess at this point, I feel like Earth Crystal is probably more on his mind than going back into the sealed cave, as there's 2 bosses that he could fight in there, but oh no, he's actually going back in the sealed cave right away. So it looks like Rivers is making the right decision here to check the boss he noped out of before. Is now making his walk of shame back down the sealed cave, while Scratchdragon is checking out that Oath Crystal for what we can only assume is the Tower Key.
Which will likely be his next destination after fighting whoever's in Valvelis' boss spot here. We have CPU. Earlier in the seed, I think this could have been a somewhat scary fight, but not at this point.
Especially with that Leviathan summon, will just take him out completely. Rivers finally finding the D-Mist here. Probably going to be a little angry at himself for just resetting out of here earlier, but Yeah, at this point, Scratch is going to easily 18. Yeah, there's the tower key from the Earth Crystal Tower. I'm gonna guess he's gonna head straight for that.
Location.
He'll head straight for that super cannon, find some random piece of gear at this point, and then have to head back into that sealed cave.
Or possibly the giant. I mean, once he knows that the only that the crystal has to be behind Rydia's mother.
Yeah, that is true. He could head for that CPU fight.
There'd be 2 boss spots there for one trip. 2 very, very high power boss spots, but 2 nonetheless.
Nailed him, goading the super cannon. Easily taken out at this point, having a very, very low HP value in this slot.
Yeah, this spot is usually a gimme. I kind of put it on par with like the third Mount Ordeals boss spot. That it has to be a gimmick fight like Wyvern or Golbez to be any kind of threat.
Looks like River's going to be doing some renaming for us here.
Yeah, some nice shoutouts there with his names.
Yeah, definitely a big thanks to RPG Limit Break for hosting all this, all the work everyone's put into this, all the runners for making this event even possible and everything too. So.
Well, shoutouts to Rivers himself too. I mean, he, as humble as he is one of the main developers behind Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He's done a lot of behind-the-scenes work for this league too. There we have it.
Scratch is going into the giant.
We really are gonna see every last nook and cranny of this seed.
For a second, I thought he was going to leave.
So this is something you generally don't see outside of, what is it, V2 is the mode where instead of defeating Zeromus, the goal of the seed is to defeat the CPU boss spot. There are no key items in the giant. There's only one trap chest if it's K3 or 4. And 2 very high power boss spots.
And a character slot you usually give up to,
Yeah.
not being worth it.
Yeah, the main reason people enter the giant, at least with these flags, is to grind on D machines if there's no sirens in the seed, to allow for faster grinding elsewhere.
And he sees Yang in that first slot, and he's just gonna say nope. Not even gonna. Okay, he has a save in the sealed cave. He's just gonna go back in there.
Oh, so wait, who was in the element spot?
Yang.
That's yeah.
I mean, with no Paladin Cecil to trigger his end script, it could be an interesting fight.
Yeah, with all that health and speed. Although that Yang was in that spot in the giant percent seed that I saw Elmagus do in 20 minutes, but he also had 2 adamant armors.
It's finally starting his Zeromus fight. Scratchdragon finding that Mist Dragon here now. That is still quite the sprite for Zeromus.
Yeah, I had no idea there was semi-official FF4 artwork outside of FF4 in the after years.
And with the reorganization of his characters, it's now RPG Liver Break Goose, like Scala GG.
Naming Tella GG kind of fitting in this case too.
It now stands for Ground Guardian. So it looks like we have Rivers also kind of taking advantage of the reflect strat here with Udia and Fusaya.
Yeah, the only theoretical situation with these characters I could think of where not doing that would be arguably better is if you had like an Avenger or a White Spear or just some kind of really high power weapon for Kane.
Yeah, and I don't think we saw anything much too powerful. I think he has a defense sword on, which is actually pretty decent, but this reflect strat is probably much faster with only having that and Sid with I think a poison axe at this point still. And there we go with that
And
flash.
There goes Zeromus.
We have riversmccown finishing in 3rd place with a time of 1:46.40.
Scratch turning in the adamant to get the Excalibur, probably just because you can at this point.
Going for that full hundo.
Yep.
Look at his nose
Get
hammer right there.
the Kokol shop too.
He doesn't even pick up the Excalibur, he just hands in the key items.
I mean that shop is weapons, right? There's no chance for it to have like Bacchus or
I'm not actually sure. I thought it had a chance for pretty much anything, but I mean, it had a summon in there. It had Odin, I think.
And there's Scratch getting the crystal.
And we are now joined by the Reset King, riversmccown.
GG's her.
Wow, the Reset King, man. I like that title. That's a good one.
So how are you feeling after that?
You know, the second I reset out of Sealed Cave there, the back of my brain was like, you know, that could be Mistdragon. And then I was like, well, this is the kind of thing where if you want first place, you got to gamble anyway. So went for it. Didn't work out. I'm okay with that. Glad I could bring the Twin Harp to the fans.
Yeah, what shocked us the most was that Scratchdragon reset out of the package to when he was running out of places to check, too.
Yeah, like he was done the moon and everything. Went back there, I think, got everything because he did the Lunar Dragon's Last, did Baron, got the package reset, did the Oath Crystal, and went, oh.
Yeah, I was beginning to have the feeling that something was up when Magus finished, Nightdew finished, and I was clearing the moon and not finding anything that took me anywhere. And I was thinking, you know, if they really finished ahead of me, what could they have possibly done that would have done that? And it was either Valvolus or Mistdragon being there. And you know, sometimes you make the wrong calls. It's okay.
It's called Randomizer for a reason, after all.
Though we do regret to inform you that, unfortunately, Magus got to Zeromus just as you were getting into Twin Harp, so we barely got to hear any of your Twin Harp. Though we did catch it on someone else's on stream.
Rude.
Yeah, I know. We tried. We scooted a little bit while Zeromus was kind of loading, but it was the first sprite reveal. Also, what did you think about the sprite?
It looked like Super Shredder from TMNT 2, Secret of the Ooze, except on like massive steroids or something.
It was Zeromus.
Sure, you can say that. Whatever you want to go with, Natara.
Okay. Sounds good.
So where is Scratch anyway?
He is just starting Zeromus now.
He pretty much hundoed. He even went to look at the first boss of the giant, and then then he
Nice.
turned in the adamant and legend sword. Didn't pick up the Excalibur.
And with all that, he should still pretty comfortably sub 2.
Definitely, yeah. Interested to see if he also does a reflect strat here, or what he decides to do.
I don't think I saw him get an Avenger or White Spear or anything despite all the extra places he checked, so I'd be really surprised if he did anything other than reflect strats.
Yeah, the best thing I found for Kane was a defense sword.
Yeah, throwing a Stow Veil up on Kane here. I'm assuming he's going to go with the reflects here.
You know what the worst part about this fight is? I can actually see the Super Shredder now. Thanks for that, Rivers.
Glad I could bring something to the stream today.
That's all we have left here is to watch Scratch nuke his way to a dead HTT Zemus. Although looking at his levels, I don't even think he got nuke on Rydia, so...
Yeah, because he did lose some kind of progress when he reloaded his sealed cave save. Kind of curious, like how many levels he lost out of that. So I guess as we're watching our last runner of the Highway to the Zemus-Zone League finish up, anybody on the call have any kind of closing thoughts about the league in general up till this point?
We've got 2 of our runners here. Come on. Closing thoughts. How you feeling?
Tired. 7 hours of stream will do that to anybody, but I'm very appreciative of everybody for supporting the league, everybody for coming out, making these oddball times. Very happy that we could put on a good show here, and just eternal grateful. Really looking forward to what we do next with the World Series of Free Enterprise. Looking forward to AGDQ a lot too.
Yes, do you want to do a little recap on the World Series of Free Enterprise for those who may have missed it pre this game?
Sure, I can do that. So the basic gist of the World Series of Free Enterprise is that we're kind of taking the idea of a World Series of poker, where they have different events for different types of poker, like stud or Omaha High-Low or No Limit Hold'em or whatever. We have a lot of flags, if you hadn't noticed, so kind of the basic idea will be to create a series of mini tournaments, qualifiers, and creating a final table out of those qualifiers. Could see like an Apple percent event, could see a Giant percent event, could see a K4 event. Lots of possibilities on the table. We're going to have a forum opened up in the Discord fairly shortly. People to discuss and answer polls about how they'd want each general category to be flagged. It's going to start post AGDQ. Sign up is probably closer to December. Not totally set on that yet, but it's kind of my general train of thought. Oh, and let me add this too. Congrats to a worthy champion in elmagus who spent a lot of time on this game. Really, was grinding out long days for a long time. Definitely a worthy champion. Really played well throughout the day, and yeah, kudos.
You should definitely go back and listen to his spouted words. They were a thing of beauty.
Well, I'm sure we'll be taking on the entire 7-hour stream at some point.
They were certainly heartfelt.
I'm pretty sure Gnome just banned me from RPG Limit Break.
Join the club. It's happened to me before too.
I do believe you have been unbanned.
And there we go. With that final flash, we have the 4th place finisher of our finals, Scratchdragon, with a time of 1:58.02.
Well, that was a magical seed, that's for sure.
Definitely, and just some small slight decisions caused, the time differences, but all our runners did very well, taking about that seed.
Absolutely. It's the kind of the nature of randomizers, though. It's just sometimes rando's gonna rando, and it can be just a very simple decision, which can either put you way in the lead or way behind. So it's kind of, you can be the best ever, and sometimes you just make one tiny choice, and the randomizer decides.
I'm very excited for this to go up on YouTube and then immediately get DMCA'd.
I think only one video has gotten that so far, and it was because of the Highway to the Danger Zone remix during an interview, actually.
See, we had one that was Pirates of the Caribbean that got removed for whatever algorithms they use. Apparently, just sussed out that it was that song.
Well then, with that, any parting words before we send everyone off on a raid to some other fun entertainment?
I guess look forward to the next league. I guess at a to be announced date in 2019, and then also the free enterprise race at Awesome Games Done Quick in January.
Yeah, we'll be doing. We'll probably be doing League 2 same time next year. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but that's kind of what I've targeted, and I'm really looking forward to AGDQ as well. Thanks everybody for coming out. Thanks everybody for supporting Free Enterprise. And this is your first time watching. Hope you had a blast. We're a very easy community to join and talk with. Discord is linked on ff4fb.com, so please come join us. And next time could be you up here in this four-way race.
Yeah, and we're always looking for more people. We do have twice weekly community races, so it's a good way to get involved with the community, either with racing, with commentating, restreaming, tracking, if you're interested in any of these things. So just come out and hang with us. Plus, there's always folks looking to race. Entire role for it, in fact. That being said, thank you. Come join us. Come play with us. We're only minorly scary. And you get used to it. It's fine. So with that, we are going to be sending everyone over to Retro Gaming Live TV, where they are currently in the semifinals, I believe, of a Castlevania one-night-only tournament. So that should be an absolutely fun time. And thank you, everyone, for coming out, supporting RPG Limit Break, supporting Free Enterprise, and supporting all of our fabulous racers. But one last post, please give our commentary on our runners a follow. They've worked very hard. But for now, signing off.